Welcome to an exclusive BTC webinar. I'm Janet Gordon, Director of Events at Behind the Chair. We're excited to introduce for the first time ever on a global webinar platform, Mustafa Avci. We're thrilled to have him with us tonight. Celebrated working stylist, salon owner, educator, internationally known and travels globally to teach and educate. King of Waves, owns Mustafa's Workshop and Salon M in Brooklyn, New York. So Mustafa, welcome. How are you this evening?
Thank you so much, Janet. I'm super excited to be here for the first time and share my knowledge for the people that I couldn't reach out to. So it's a good opportunity to share the knowledge and with my friends over here.
Yes, we're thrilled as well, and it's a great platform. People can enjoy being home or at the salon when the weather is bad, like it is in much of the country. We also have people joining us from around the globe. We had attendees register from France, from the UK, and then also from Canada. So we're thrilled to have a global audience with us this evening. Before
Yes.
we get started, Mustafa is going to cover two different techniques. And most importantly, he'll answer your most frequently asked questions after he shares his techniques. So be sure that you hang in there with us until the last section of the webinar. But let's dive into some quick announcements and reminders while everyone is logging on and getting settled in here for the evening. Within the next 2 to 3 days, you'll receive an email from Behind the Chair with links to the playback, along with an e-diploma that you can print and complete for yourself. Be sure you check your inbox and your spam folder so you don't miss the email within the next 2 to 3 business days. It will come from Behind the Chair, Mary Behind the Chair. Next up, we have multiple holiday specials going on. Invisibobbles have just been received with the great gusto across the country and the world. If you go to shopbehindthechair.com, you'll find more information about the new troll-themed Invisibobbles. One other item that I want to jump back and share with you real quick, we actually spotlighted it here on our opening page, the new selfie lights. They're available in black or white. They tune in to 3 different levels of brightness. It's an item that you clip on your cell phone, and when you're taking selfies, if you need a little extra light, here you go. And it has the 3 AA batteries are included. When does that happen? Batteries are included. So go to shop.behindthechair.com and get more information on the selfie lights. Then again, the ever popular Invisibobbles, great retail gifts in your salon. We have a beautiful display that comes free, a retail value of $257, opening order just over 128. Go to shop.behindthechair.com, and again, great stocking stuffers and gifts as a retail purchase for the client, but also if you care to give gifts to your clients as well and fellow stylists. Finally, we have the Power Styler. It's a beautiful tool that you can use to blow dry in half the time. All of these items are available at shop.behindthechair.com and search for Power Styler. They come in 4 different colors, $19.95 each. Also available at Salon Centric and directly through us at Behind the Chair. It speeds up your blow drying time by almost half. It creates longer lasting styles, and more importantly, it really helps cut back on frizz and makes your smoothing a lot faster and more efficient. We have a surprise for you this evening. This is our first announcement on air for BTC on Tour coming February 27th of 2017. That's just a little over 2 months away in Los Angeles, California at the beautiful historic Orpheum Theater. For more information on the lineup, which will be released in the next couple of weeks, go to behindthechair.com/on-tour, behindthechair.com/on-tour to learn more about ticket sales and the lineup, which again will be announced in the next couple of weeks. So we're super, super excited for this event. We're taking our show on the road to the West Coast for the first time ever, and we are thrilled. Last but not least, Color Cut and Style Year 6, Austin, Texas, August 20th through 22nd next year at the beautiful JW Marriott in Austin. Save the date. Book your hotel now at behindthechair.com/the-show. We already are selling a lot of rooms in the room block. Ticket sales will go on sale after the beginning of the year. And Mustafa, you were a part of Well, at least at Color Cut and Style and the One Shot Awards, as we'll talk about in a couple minutes, Mustafa won one of the One Shot Awards last year. What was your experience at Color Cut and Style and One Shot?
It can be described in a words because it was so meant a lot to me winning the curl category. And now for this year, I'm going to enter again, and plus I'm going to enter many different categories as I can to win as much award as possible. And so here's a point where I would love to see, everyone can, take home something and participate from all over the world. It's something amazing that I can say.
That's great, and thank you so much. It was a joy to see you last year, and such an incredible experience. So, information on the One Shot Awards will be coming out again after the beginning of the year. But save the dates: August 20th through 22nd in Austin. Beautiful property, amazing swimming pool. Because yes, it's hot in Texas in August, but it's just going to be an incredible event, all under one roof at the JW Marriott downtown.
Can't wait.
Okay. So let's move on here. We are actually ready to dive right into the reason why we're here this evening, which is to learn so much from the King of Waves, again, owner of Mustafa's Workshop, his educational program. And so important, Mustafa works behind the chair, and he is a salon owner in Brooklyn, and we all know the responsibility level that involves. So we're thrilled to have you with us this evening, Mustafa. Share with us just a couple thoughts about why you're with us tonight.
This is something that I really, really wanted to do. This is something for whoever taking my class in the past or someone that really wanted it and there's no way of a chance that like we got together. And there are some people who sees my work and who's interested in my work and like in a way that I can reach out to them because I normally like to do a lot of hands-on education to teach people one-on-one. But here's another way of, understanding my life and my way of kind of styling how I do it. So you kind of get the inside out of it. And I have some like surprises for you guys who would, participate it and watching this. I have some videos for you to share with you guys so you guys can really understand the techniques, how I do it, not just by step in the pictures. And I will be taking, sharing a lot of, knowledge with you guys. The most important, which I liked about this webinar, that you can watch it again and again and, and repeat the techniques and basically achieve the styles that, you know.
Yes. And a lot of people, I am seeing a few questions. Will you be able to watch this later? Yes. Within 2 to 3 days, you'll receive a playback link to watch the entire webinar. And you will also receive, as Mustafa just shared with you, links to 4 different video clips. The webinar program that we do is photographs with step-by-steps, but you will also receive the playback links with the email that will come from us. So he will point out to you as we go through this where those links are. As we look at the beautiful inspirations and styles here, you can see the award-winning shot, the One Shot Hot Shot 2016 winner on the left, which is beautiful. The one in the lower right is actually very similar to a style that Mustafa is going to share with us this evening. So let's dive right in, Mustafa. Let's start with your
Yes.
step-by-step number 1 for Hollywood Waves.
Here's the look. Look number 1. So pretty much I will be explaining what kind of, since I don't see the questions and stuff like that, I will explain to you guys quickly and what kind of, things that I've done and what kind of questions I get while I'm teaching in the classroom also. There's the before and there's the after look. This model didn't have extensions on her hair. I will be showing you guys here step by step how I created this vintage wave effect. So should I?
Yes, let's move on.
Okay,
We'll
perfect. Let's move on. Much better. Okay. On this model, we kind of, I'm going to share with you guys with the product that I applied on the hair, which many of you guys I've seen, I got a lot of questions. someone who has fine hair, someone for long-lasting waves, why my waves don't last too long, stuff like that. So pretty much when anyone comes to me, even a model, my client, even a bride that I will be doing 9 a.m. and that needs to be hair to be done at until 12 o'clock at night, hairs to look so beautiful. So basically, what I'll do, I'll wash their hair. I know some of you guys are shocked that washing on the same day. I wash the hair on the same day and once, 2 times shampooed. If the hair is so like a straight like that, I put a conditioner. But if you get a hair that is more coarse, more heavy, that I can recommend a conditioner, but only putting the conditioner on the tip, just the ends, just to smooth out the ends. So when I just washing, right after washing, I would take a large sections and just go ahead and spray. It's a volumizing spray. It has the gel factor in it. If you think about it, like olden days, people used to put gel in their hair and comb it out and then take section it and then roller set it. So think about it in a modern way where it's designed differently and you kind of section the whole hair out. I spray from root to end, not just the mid to end, completely root to end, spray all around, and then on the sides, on the bottom, in the front, removing like spraying on the all the flyaways. As soon as you spray, I recommend you just dry it right away, not to
Mustafa,
wait like
please
yes,
tell us the product again. There was just a like an audio glitch when you said the name of the product that you use.
yes, sure. It's Sebastian Volupte spray.
Okay, great. It's like a gel spray. We had several people asking they couldn't hear you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's Sebastian's Volupte spray on a damp hair, shampooed on a damp hair. I spray it from root to end all over. Make sure I spray generous amount of, product on the hair. So after spraying it all over, 100% dry. As you can see in the picture, it should be this much dry, 100%. There shouldn't be any like a wet feeling or damp feeling at all.
And
So after
you spray
drying,
it section by section, or you basically work it through the entire head of hair and then you start your blow drying?
pretty much I will do large sections, divide the hair into large section, and then spray it to a root area, and then spray into bottom area. So some people who cannot uh, find the Volop spray on time, you can maybe get away with using a hair mousse, just kind of apply like a normal texture hair mousse, apply it. But on my updos, on my waves, Volop spray makes the hair like a fabric to me. So it adds. I highly recommend you using that Volop spray on yourself first, even if you're a guy, a hairstylist. I use it for myself as well on my hair, just when it's wet. So, and then when I dry, I feel like I have a lot of much more thicker hair.
And do you
So,
use do you just rough dry it with your hands, or do you actually use a brush as you dry?
definitely, definitely rough dry it. I'm gonna talk about it. Why not blow dry it with a round brush? I'll tell you that also. But overall, rough dry it. If you cannot dry it right away, if you're too busy, you're finishing up with another client, I recommend you have your assistant or someone that dries the hair right away for you after the product, because you don't want the product to be getting much more sticky on the hair. But
Right.
if you dry it right away, you shouldn't have that problem. You can even run your fingers through that, you won't have that kind of issue.
Okay, that's great. And that was the Sebastian Volupte spray.
The only product that I use when prepping the hair.
Okay, that's great. So after you've sectioned, it looks like, tell us about these sections here.
I'm sure when you think about Hollywood waves, you've seen a lot of people doing like a spiral curls. over directed to one side. Let's say, for instance, to the left, they take a large section, roll to the left side, just regular spiral curls, and then brushing everything out. So this is kind of, it's a good idea, but it's not a fast version of doing this. It's not the, it's not the way that I kind of chose to do it. As you can see on step number 2 that I just sectioned, you can see below the ear, on both ear, I kind of have it like rounded shape a little bit. So the ends are, two ends are looking down instead of looking like a happy smiley face. So all that section will be wrapped on one piece. So I don't divide that piece into 10 or 12 sections and like over direct it to one area. I kind of like take that thick of a section, as you can see, and then wrap that section all in a current iron.
Right.
So I'll go over to you where I have the videos. I have a video of this, how I wrapped each section. So I'll kind of will show you how I will wrap it up. I kind of let you know, kind of, if you hold your, let's say, cord or anything, if another person holds it on the other side, if two people are pulling, for instance, you kind of will hold it with your thumb on top by holding on it so tight so that you don't let go of the cord or whatever, or rope you think about it. Maybe if I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you if
So
you yeah, if you think about like a two people on two ends holding one rope and each one pulling it, you
yep.
kind of will press your thumb on top of the rope so hard so the rope is not sliding out of your hand.
Yep.
So on a way that I'm holding the hair, everything on my, you know, left hand, that it's sitting right underneath my thumb, the completely hair. So before we jump onto step number 4, as you can see, I'm holding my iron nice and straight. I'm not moving my iron up or down. I kind of flat wrap. As you can see, the first part where it's wrapped on the iron, it's different from the rest of the pieces. If you look close, the first part, not the part where I'm holding the end of it, the first really part, it's flat. The second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth part, it's all half twisted. Not fully twisted, half twisted. So in a way where you hold the hair right underneath your thumb, you flat wrap on the iron, and then you come back twisting it.
Mm-hmm.
Always twist it to the left side. There goes my first twist, and then I'll do the same thing again. Go down a little, flat wrap again, twist again.
Okay.
Wrap again, twist again. So it's on each section that I will have my, twists are lined up right next to each other on the iron. But before doing this, I will generously use a lot of hairspray. I used over here Sebastian Shaper Fierce. So I just want you to, share with you that I, tell everyone I have nothing to do with Sebastian, but I just love, whatever that I believe in that works for me the best. I stand behind it, and I think they should, deserve to get a credit for it, because this hairspray is amazing. And you kind of put a hairspray on top of the hair, on the sides of the hair, and on the bottom of the hair. You
And
pretty much,
do you spray it after you let the hair out of the iron, or do you spray it right now while it's on the iron?
let's go back one more picture. Okay. As you can see, now that I told you that your thumb should be pressed on the hair, you can see it so much more clear, I hope. And so my hand is holding the hair just the same way on the beginning roll that I wrap up, and the top piece, the final part that I wrap up, it's the same exact way. So it's just when I get to the end part, as you can see, when I get to the end part, it's just holding the end, bend it down.
Right. And then
So
pushing the clamp down. Okay.
pushing the clamp down. But I just want to tell you guys one thing. Let's go back one more time. So on this piece of hair, before I wrap, I would, since I have the envelope spray into here, and then I dried it, completely rough dried it. But I just have to tell you, if anyone that has a frizzy or curly hair, you can, with a round brush, tiny bit, not so much, you can just little bit blow dry it, and not to have, frizziness all over, but not to blow dry so much, because if you over blow dry it too much, even though you'll wrap it up nice, you pin it up nice, will look beautiful, but won't last you so long. You kind of need to leave it in a rough dry, because iron, it's already hot and it's already doing the work for you. So you kind of working on a hair that it's even like a little messy, it's fine. You can kind of wrap it up nice and tight. How I'm holding it on the step number 2, right underneath my thumb. I just place the iron right under, flat wrap, twist, come back, twist it. Flat wrap again, twist again. Flat wrap again, and twist again. So on step number 3, as you can see, it's fully wrapped, but when I take the curling iron out, I kind of open my left hand and leave it under. I do not stick my finger inside the rolled in part. I kind of support it from under, and I gently tap my iron, try to release the hair, and when I just use a clip, I try to use the clips that are longer,
Hmm.
duck clips, and then pin it more close to the roots.
And
So
again,
this would,
you will receive a video clip when you receive the email with the playback link to this webinar. There will one of the video clips will show him actually wrapping this. So that will be a little extra bonus that you get then.
definitely wrapping up the right way. I would highly recommend you, to focus on, once you get the wrapping right, you'll see it on the video that I showed you guys. I really wanted you guys to see it. And once you get that right away, then it all folds out in a way how to section the hair in a right way, where it folds beautiful and blends in beautiful, you know. So here's number 2. On step number 4, as you can see, if you think about it, now we're working on the right side of the head in the back. So I kind of went in on the right top part of the head, went in more towards the rounded until the occipital bone in the back. So I have like a rounded shape again. The reason I'm doing it more rounded down, because all of this hair can wrap on the iron much more nice and close, all tight in a place.
Right.
So
And that first section you did, it looks like you rolled it up and just rolled it underneath and secured it with clips.
yes, each section that I would wrap, this is my first section that is already wrapped. Now working on my second section that I'm wrapping over here. Each section that I start, I go back. When I'm opening the hair down, I'll start from the first section that I wrapped. So each section doesn't interfere with the section before.
Right.
So it will all be pinned up in right,
Yep.
from to the root area.
Sure. And we need to keep moving so that we do get through everything. But two other key
Yes.
questions. You did mention the spray earlier. When do you use the hairspray?
When I use the hairspray, right before I wrap. So don't get confused with hairspray and the envelope spray. Envelope spray, when the hair is wet, you just spray it all over and dry. Hairspray is just regular right before I curl each section. I will comb the hair, use the hairspray all around, and go back and comb again, removing all the kind of any knots in the hair. And then right before I wrap, I hold the whole hair right underneath my thumb. And then I wrap, flat wrap. You see on this picture, Step number 4, if you look very closely at the beginning part, it's flat wrap, and the root is very smooth and all nice and even. Flat wrap, and all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces are wrapped right next to each other, nice and twisted. This is half twist, guys. Don't get confused by twisting it so much, you know. This is like a half a twist.
Yep. And what size,
So
a lot of questions asking what size is the iron? What size is the barrel that you're using?
this is on step number 4, you can see it very nice and clear. This is a 1-inch current iron,
Okay.
but on step number 4, most of all, when I choose this iron, because the clamp that is on top, it taps on the hair. It's not like a half a moon shape. It's not wrapping the hair. It's kind of like a tapping, just gentle tap on the hair. So this one, what it does is it doesn't make any kind of a line on the hair, like mark on the hair.
Okay.
So let's go on to the step number 5. As you can see, I pull the hair, each part, each time that I'm wrapping each section, I pull the hair towards to me. Not higher, not lower. Just straight towards to me. And notice on this part, if you look closely, on the left ear, it's coming in more rounded on top of the previous section. You see, it's
Yep.
the sections are laying on top of each other. So it's kind of like once the step 5 is finished, and I'll jump into the next section that when I roll. Let's go back let's go one more step forward. One more. Okay, as you can see, I'll go back to the section before, but as you can see, on this section, it's wrapped the same exact way, but let's look at it this way. I have one section in the middle and the bottom. I have a section on the right, section on the left, and then section in the middle again.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, I want you to understand it as a bricklayer pattern. So it has that pattern in it. So each part, when I open up each section, it's kind of like it lays over on top of it nicely. And this what it does to blend in nice and, smooth, easily.
Mhm.
We can go back one more. Like I said, over here, I pull everything towards to me and kind of put a hairspray on top, on the sides, both sides, and also on the bottom. Then go back in, just comb it out nice and smooth. Then come back in, holding the hair right underneath your thumb. Just wrap. If we go to the next section, you can wrap and just hold the hair like that. Depending on each iron, it's a little different.
Mhm.
So there's no 10-second or 15-second of wait each time waiting. So depending on if you get it nice and hot on it, I recommend you.
What temperature do you recommend?
I have over here the temperature. I have it's 350.
Okay.
But when you're using a hairspray, if you're using the Sebastian Shaper Fierce, I wouldn't recommend you to spray it so close. Just try to spray a little far away,
Mhm.
like a, you know,
Just get a
15,
lot.
20 centimeter away.
Right.
But you need to spray it all over, meaning on top, on the sides, and on the bottom. You don't want to leave in an area where you didn't spray it.
Sure.
So this allows it to give you double control, meaning envelope spray inside the hair, hairspray on the surface of the hair. Think about it kind of like that.
Right.
So this is step number 7. And if you see it, I did only 4 sections that I wrapped,
Okay.
not like 10 or 20, just 4 sections that I wrapped.
Yep.
After doing the 4th section, I did another section that I did a large section. On top of that, pinned it up. As you can see, she's got really thick hair.
Mhm.
I normally like to use a lot of extensions, hair extensions. So she's got a lot of thick hair. I'll talk about when you do use hair extensions, how to section it is kind of a little different. But as you can see, on the left side of her hair, how I'm holding, it's kind of like a section more down. So because I want this part to over direct it to behind her ear.
Right.
So let's go to step number 8. Jump ahead. As you can see, I pinned it using large clips, but if you need to use another clip, I recommend you use another small one on the other side to hold the hair not falling. You don't want to use so much hair clip on the hair and ruin the nice, dimension on the curls. You don't want to ruin that.
About
So on
about excuse me, about how long do you hold the iron before you release it, the hair?
on this iron, it's like 10, 15 seconds,
Okay.
depending on how thick of the hair is. Just try to work on an iron that it's not like a build up so much product on it. Try to work on a clean and don't spray after when you wrap. You see, on this step number 10, let's say the hair is like this. I wrapped it up nicely. Don't go spray on top of this so much. Do not spray it at all. You should have sprayed like beforehand. So this is kind of like the nice, as you can see, I over directed this more towards the back instead of more to the side. You can section as exactly as you like, but I wouldn't never recommend you to sections build all on top of each other. Never to build the sections on top of each other, because when you're trying to, as you can see, this is also like a section more diagonal down. The piece that I'm holding, it's also like a kind of curve more down. So each time when I open section, it will blend in so much more smoother. So you don't have a line in the middle. From, let's say, the back is beautiful, the right side is beautiful, left side is gorgeous, but you have a line in the middle that it's like not getting connected. So I kind of we should stay on step number 13 over here. I kind of can get you to understand, as you can see, that the top piece that I took in the back, it's a large section. And as I go to the top areas, that I'm taking a little bit more larger section. Never take sections on top so small, because you kind of don't want so many curls on top. You want like a nice, beautiful, thick piece falling all over the hair. Let's go on to the next section.
Okay.
As you can see on the step number 14, everything is pinned nicely. The pins on the top, left side, it's all small ones. Pins on the right side, it's all the large ones. I kind of want you to look at it in a way, you see, it's pins. I leave this hair 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes. Sometimes if I'm doing a bridal, she goes out to, makeup, or she gets her makeup done. It takes like 40 minutes. I leave it for 40 minutes. And then I go to the next section. Step number 15. Okay, step number 15. Each time when combing out the hair, you'll have, when you're opening up, you'll get a spiral curl. Hold the end of the spiral curl, or hold the very like a bottom piece, where if you have a layer sticking out, you should hold it from there. Pull the hair more toward you. Again, when you're wrapping, but this time instead of holding it more closer to the root, you're just grabbing the end of it while it's spiral curled. You kind of holding. I'll show you. Let's go to section number 16. You see? Here's the part, how I'm holding right before I tease each section. I'm going to get back to the part how I combed it out the section. So those sections how I comb out, as you can see, I pull the hair down. Don't think if you pull the hair down, you're going to ruin your waves. You're not going to ruin your waves. It's going to allow you to tease the hair so your waves can last so long. A lot of people ask me why you tease the hair. For what purpose? To give it volume? It's to give volume, but overall, not everyone knows that I tease all around. Let's jump up the next section. You see, I'm going down. As I tease from the root, I tease much more stronger. As I go down, I tease much more gentle. And I'm being so much more gentle as I tease to the very end.
And
So
you're
we can
doing it,
stop.
excuse me, you're
Yeah.
doing it underneath. So as opposed to on top and feeding up against the top surfaces of the hair, you're doing it underneath.
Yes, never to tease from on top. It's a good, thank you, Janet, for reminding that. Never to tease from on top to ruin the shape, but teasing from underneath gives you a lot of like a texture, build up a lot of texture. And don't forget, voluptuous spray allows you to tease the hair much more uh, easily because it has a lot of texture built into the hair. So when you kind of tease, you'll kind of can tap on the hair. It allows it to give a lot of fullness in it. After teasing it all the way through, now you see how I'm holding the hair? It's like, you know how you hold the playing cards? You can fan out the playing cards to the side.
Yes.
It's just like that. Wherever the bent area on the hair, I kind of go back in and fan out the hair. So each hair, when I open each section on the later on photos, you'll see when I open each section, you'll have a spiral curl turns into this shape. As you can see, this is the final shape of each, wrap that I do. So we don't have to do 100 curls and then comb it down and then try to put it right next to each other. This is already blended perfectly from the root area. As you can see, all of it sits right next to each other. I could have made this even a little bit more fan it out, but I just wanted to show you guys when jumping into the next section. As you can see over here, step number 21. Here, I did this to show you, what if you sprayed little too much? What if the hair comes out so hard and you oversprayed it, it's so hard, and you can't comb it out that easy. And you know you oversprayed the rest of the hair. So here's a technique. I kind of put a little bit oil in my hand. Why oil? Because a lot of texture, a lot of volume built into the hair, and I use the hairspray so it doesn't get stick on my hand. So I kind of use 1 or 2 drops of oil I mixed in my hand, and then I go back, move the hair clips, and then I scrunch it softly, like scrunching tight right in my hand. So this allows it to break the hairspray. And let's jump into the next section.
So gently like you would squeeze a sponge, but a gentle
Yes,
squeeze.
yes. As you can see, I'll do the same thing. There's a photo image that I wanted to touch base with you guys. You'll see it also on it. But overall, first piece is wrapped the same as the last piece. The first piece, you open up, you brush out, same way of the last piece. So it's kind of like repeating the same exact method, but laying the hair. A lot of these, I like to connect it sometimes, but I don't like it doing it. I kind of like pull the hair, roots, and then fan it out. Here is how I'm teasing very end of it. So it's kind of like tapping up gently and then laying this over. Let's jump into the next one.
Okay. One quick question. Do you tease in an upward bend or a downward bend?
What do you mean?
Well, that was one of the questions here. So I guess as you're teasing underneath, you're going up and bending with the wave as opposed to teasing and going
When
down.
on this part, as you can see where the comb is, right underneath, each time I kind of tease that area, it allows my waves to like become much more expanded, become much more bigger, fatter. So I can just kind of fan it out with my hands. It becomes so much more bigger. Let's jump into the next section.
Yep.
Okay, here's the part where I kind of combed it out, but it's very important, this image, because I really want you guys to see it. You see how I'm holding the end? I pull the hair down each time I'm combing. I mean, not down, more towards to myself.
Right.
Because on this picture, standing. And how I'm holding the comb, it's not like sticking the comb in and combing it down all the way through. I'm holding the comb more sideways. And I'm going in with the small strokes. So we all, like many of us have worked in a hair salon, and many of us have, started as an apprentice and just kind of sweep the floor. I think about combing hair when I style, it's like sweeping the floor. So when you take a broom of sweeping the floor, you kind of like to go in a strokes, just sweep every part one at a time, one at a time, and then collect all the hair in one area and then just throw it out. So each time, as you can see, this comb is hold sideways, so the very end of the comb, it's kind of like going in and out of the hair. So this went in from the root area and out from there, as you can see, not all the way through. And then I did it again and again and again as I'm going down all the way to the down. Let's jump into the next section.
Okay. Can I go back real fast? I've had several people
Yeah, sure.
ask to see slide 22 again.
Oh,
Oh, this is
perfect.
how when it falls out. This was a great
Perfect.
example. This is
Yes,
what
I
it looks
didn't.
like when it first falls out.
Okay,
There we
this
go.
is how it first falls out. Let's say you guys wrap the whole thing. Consider step number 22, the section that I just wrapped it up and fell down, and consider that is a section number 1, for instance. So what I'm doing, I'm just removing the clip on both sides, let it, let it fall. Don't try to hold it, try to find the end, let it drop first. And then go back and just hold the end of it. So if you go, let it drop, it helps you a lot. So it finds the way how the curl falls actually. So you don't get, panicked and try to find the end by making the curl twist in another direction.
Right.
So let's go back again to 22. So over here, I kind of come back in, hold the end, and pull it towards to myself. And then by holding the comb sideways, just almost like laying it on the hair and just going in, trying to remove the hairspray with my comb, because still has a lot of hairspray on it. But as you can see, not the one that I didn't open, the piece that I opened up, the first very bottom piece that I combed it out nicely and opened up. As you can see, this turns into this. So it allows the envelope spray, the product allows you to tease the hair and allow you to fan out the hair very quickly. So let's jump into next sections. Over here, as you can see, I'm using the end of the comb, tail part of the comb. When I leave the waves drop down, sometimes there's small pieces of hair, layers and stuff around that keeps bothering me. Normally, I had to leave my model looking straight up. So normally, I recommend you, if you have working with a client that's sitting in your chair, and make sure you tell them to tiny bit lift their head up, look up a little bit, so it allows your waves not to fall more forward. It allows it to sit more in the back, especially for the one that is on how my comb is sitting on the hair. It's just tapping it there and then putting a hairspray. It allows it to stay right next to each other. So I'm not doing that with my hand. After teasing, after opening up, here's a better picture. As you can see, not the last piece that is dropped and the previous piece. Look at the previous piece. As you can, no, let's go forward one. Perfect. As you can see on this picture, step number 26, the side, before the final part that I opened up, it's sitting nice and smooth. You can see the details. It's because I kind of, on the bent area, I kind of put my end of my comb there and then put a hairspray. On each section I do it. I put my comb in there, the tail part of the comb in there where the bent area is, and then I put a hairspray. I do it all the way to the bottom area. That's why you can see all the in and outs, so nice and detailed. So
And
this part,
do you recommend one part or parting side or the other, or can you just work with however the client normally wears their hair parted? Could it be one side or the other or the middle?
you see, what's good about this webinar, you're going to see a technique that I did it more towards the right side. You can transfer the same technique more towards the left side. You can also, if you decide you don't want the last piece to do a curtain iron on it, you want to use a comb technique that I will be showing you on the updo, you're also getting a like a vintage, much more vintage detailed look to it. You're also getting a video of this also that I'll be doing. You can also add it on your Hollywood waves, just the top parts to be differently. So on this one, um, let's say let's go back one more. Sorry. Let's say your model is sitting on the chair, and make sure you tell them to look up a little here, away from her face, meaning more towards the back, side back, and then gently comb it out. Let's jump into this next step. So this way, you can still have the top piece before you lay on the previous section. You can take this here and fan it out all the way, bring it to the back completely. You still will blend in with your previous section and also lay it on and gently fan it out all the way to the left side. You see, and go to step number 28. You see now the top piece became attached to a piece that is all the way in the back. So I kind of connected it, and what I did with the left side, I kind of gently went in, combed it back, and put a hair accessory that I got from Pink Pewter and just tapped it there and pinned it out, sitting nice and beautiful. But I kind of like to leave one side open, not to like push back both sides. And here's the finished look of my Hollywood waves.
Yep.
As you can see, when when you're fanning out the hair, if you're having problem with fanning out the hair, and if you're having problem with, let's say you didn't put enough hairspray in, so you can kind of go back and use a more texture powder into it. Can we go back a little few more pictures before we wrap up with this?
Yes.
Let's go back one more. One more. I just wanted to show where I was fanning out each section. Okay. Let's go to 23, step number 23. Okay. Let's say you have this much and your hair is still soft and it's not like you didn't put in enough volumizing spray when the hair was damp and you didn't put enough volumizing spray. You can go ahead and tease out, do the same thing that I told you, tease out the hair, but you can spray like a, how can I say, more dust powder on the hair in the root area and more in the sections where I'm teasing. You can kind of spray in on top of it. You don't necessarily have to spray on the bottom, try to hide a product. You can spray from on top of it also and fan it out with your hands, something that, in a way, if I need to, like I'm using those kind of stuff also. So texture, like a powder also, that you can also recommend to use it,
Right. One last quick question. Is there a texture hair that you don't recommend trying this technique on, or have you, given those products that you use, can you successfully do it on any textured hair?
Any textured hair, pretty much every textured hair that I worked with. You can think about any hair, even though that it's not on my, Instagram page. You have to understand that I'm working behind the chair as well with the clients. Not every picture that I, end up posting it, not because I don't want to post, it's because I don't want to known as only doing waves and nothing else. So I try to choose just here and there, different color, different. But I recommend you overall, if you do a wave and try to, and take a nice picture step by step, because sometimes it could be frustrating the front area and you kind of still want to show your techniques as well. So here's let's say if you post this picture, step number 23 on your page, it kind of like shows that you're doing waves. And trust me, when you're using the products in, it helps so much, and it lasts your waves much, much more longer when you're using the right products, right amount.
Yeah. And what about
Just
length
with
of
my
hair?
products.
Several questions, and we'll need to move on to the next technique. But shorter hair, do you use a smaller size barrel if you're doing shorter hair, or you use similar size barrel and you just
Shorter hair, I'll use 3/4 of an inch
okay.
of a iron, and someone that has really, really, really fine hair, I would still use 3/4 of an inch iron. But overall, I like to use like add in some extensions, more towards on the bottom. But in that case, you kind of want to take straight lines when you're wrapping. You kind of will take straight lines and clip the extensions, wrap the hair along with the extensions, and pin them. And then when you're done with the extension part, you still have the top part. Then you can take bricklayer pattern. So you can still get the look when you don't have that much of a thick hair.
Okay. And one last quick reminder, you will be receiving the playback link, so you'll be able to watch this whenever you like, at your leisure, as many times as you like. And we also share Mustafa's website and his social media pages, so that if you ask questions that don't get answered this evening, you can also reach out to him directly on social media.
Yeah, you
Wow.
guys can DM me. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions.
That's great. Thank you. Well, so that we make sure we get through the next one, let's go ahead and dive into Mustafa's vintage updo.
Here's the look. I kind of have easy steps that two videos showing you how I create the bun area and how I create the front portion of it. So creating all this, it's a comb technique. I'll be sharing with you guys. Let's jump into this. Again, I prep the hair with only envelope spray all around and dry it out. On this updos and any updo that I do, we like to kind of blow dry the hair a little bit more. Not like, but I don't like to, again, over blow dry it so much, but I kind of like to blow dry the hair, leave it nice and smooth. As you can see, I did a large horseshoe section over here. On the large horseshoe section, I ponytail everything in one area, and then I took a small piece of hair, I wrapped it around and pinned it. As you can see over here, there's a technique that I take all this ponytail, wrap it around a hair padding, and then pinning it right more towards the root area. Let's jump into the next section. But before doing that, as you can see, I kind of curl a little bit, not twisted. This is not, don't think this has anything to do with Hollywood wave. Just regular wrapped it around the iron, but not all the way through, just halfway through. So let's jump into the next. Okay, perfect. There is a video that I sent how to wrap on the hair on the hair padding. So I would like to take a few minutes over here to explain. When you take a hair padding, each time you order a donut, it comes in fully rounded. Oh, perfect, fully rounded. And I did put a marker over here. I cut out that section. So this part I cut out with a large scissor. Remove that part. Let's go back to the previous picture.
Whoops. Okay.
So what it allows, that section, consider that section is the part where the head is. It's gone. So when I wrap the hair, the ponytail, all around in the middle of the hair padding and wrap it up, and bring it more towards the root, I don't have that continuous section no more. And then two sides that I cut out, it's hugging the head right now. And all I'm doing is I'm holding a bobby pin in my hand and grabbing some of the hair from the hair padding and then sticking inside the hair. Excuse me. I'm not opening up my bobby pins, and try using a larger ones, more preferably, because you want to be much more secured on it. So if we go to the next section,
And of course, we're getting questions, where do you find these lovely pads, the hair pads?
I order them online. There's a website that I get, all my hair paddings,
Hmm.
and I ordered them online because it's really, really, I like to, order many different places, many different items just to test and see, something that are like $5, $10 to see that what I can find out there.
Right.
So I found these hair paddings because they're very hard to find, the large ones. And sometimes if I don't need it that big, I can go back and just remove one layer out and then cut that out. So I have a smaller one. So as
And,
you can see on step number 4,
and where would
it
you
fits.
suggest, how would our attendees go about finding those? Do they Google hair padding? Are there a couple of websites you might recommend?
Oh, it's hairandtools.com. I buy it from there.
Hairendtools.com. Okay. And this,
Hairandtools.com.
and the
I
video,
buy them from there.
there is a
Yeah,
video that will come with this, with the playback link. There's a great 15 or 20-second video that shows how Mustafa takes the end of the hair in this, let's call it a donut with a piece cut out, and just rolls the hair all the way up with that one section. And then from there, explain to us how you fan it out.
I kind of, yeah, wrap it up, everything, this all in center. So I'm using for the right side, I'm using my 2 point fingers and my thumbs. I'm sticking it in right underneath my hair. I'm sticking in my 2 point fingers and then pulling the hair out with my thumb and my point finger. So look in your hand and the thumb and a point finger, both of them. Consider the point finger going inside the hair and right next to hair padding, and just pull it with your thumb up, all like putting a sock on somebody's foot. So on one side, and then do the same thing on the other side. On the video, it shows clearly how I wrap and make this happen with the hair padding.
Okay.
So it's kind of, I like using hair padding so much because I can do this without using hair padding, but I would damage her hair so much. I would tease, tease, tease a lot, and then using so much strong hair spray and create this bun and then lay a neat piece over it. But I don't like doing that because it kind of damages the hair a lot. So as you can see, let's jump into the next section. I'm doing the same thing that I did for the ponytail part. I'm curling all the way more towards the middle part, not like all the way through. And let's go back one picture. And then once it's finished, if it's optional for you guys, you can just section it and then tease the root part of it if you like to add more volume to it. If you don't, just bring everything more towards where the ponytail is. And if we go into the next section, you can see it's so much more clear. Everything, you see that there's an elastic band right in there. I kind of put two bobby pins on one bobby pin on one side and one bobby pin on the other side, and stick it in on both sides and lock in that in instead of putting so much bobby pins on top trying to cover that part out. But here's the technique. Here's the comb technique, which is I just want you to guys, if you miss it and if you have a chance, like listen to it over and over again, this is the part where you kind of want to understand it so much more easier. And it's very important, this technique and the wrapping for the Hollywood wave.
Okay.
So let's
And
focus on here.
is she still holding that piece in the front or no?
Yes, she's still holding that piece in the front. As you can see, her hand is
Right.
holding.
Okay.
So here, what I'm doing, let's go back one, step number 6. You see, I put a little oil on the hair. So you don't see that oil over here, but I kind of go and put a, for this I use the Brazilian blowout dry oil. So I kind of put, for this much amount of hair, I put kind of 4 drops or 5 drops in my hair. A lot of people are afraid of using oil for updos, but it gives you a lot of nice, beautiful dimensions on the hair. So it's after applying the oil, I kind of comb the hair very nicely, gently. So when I'm fanning out each section, that it's not like getting you know, attached to the knotted areas. So watch it very carefully. I'm holding it with my right hand. I'm sticking the hair inside the comb. So as you can see on the step number 7, that my left hand comes in, my point finger and my middle finger gets the hair right in the middle and all the way through the end. So we kind of, now my hand, left hand stands solid. My right hand is going to go in. Let's go in to the next section. You see, over here, think about a car making a U-turn, right? So my fingers, still my point finger on the left hand and my middle finger on the left hand, it's kind of locks in the hair, but this time my thumb is pressed on the hair. And then what I did, I kind of over directed the comb on the one side, and then as I'm pulling it down, I'm pressing it, gently letting it go with my thumb and my hair that is under. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So there is a video, exact video of this technique, how I'm achieving it, like fanning out, pulling it down, pulling it down. So you kind of will understand. Even you have this kind of a technique on my Instagram page also. You guys can see that this technique, but I don't like put oil, or if you don't put oil, doesn't work. I tell you that. It works, but it won't come out in a nice dimensioned way. So you kind of, let's jump into the next section. All I did was when I finished the fanning out one part, and then all I did, I removed the comb out of it, and then I put a clip to secure it. I don't like using so many bobby pins at once and then just jump into the next and finish it out. I like to use a clip and hairpins. As you can see over here, I put a clip there. Clip is sporting, it's good, but I needed more sport. And then I put my comb there so it doesn't slide out, doesn't come out of my hand, because I'm going to fan out to now to the left side. But I put a small clip there to hold it down. Let's go to step number 12. You see, I did the same comb technique, fanned it out, and then the end, I wrapped it up, and then just put another clip over it to pin it down. Basically, I covered my, I decorated my hair padding over it.
Right.
So this comb technique is the same technique that I'm going to create the vintage wave in the front. This hair can be done in a way, if they, let's say for instance, the hair is flat iron, straight, and she has no time, she just wants something in the front, and you want to create a vintage wave effect, but you have maybe 2 minutes. You can do this in even a minute, creating. But if you just need to get used to it,
Practice.
it's a little different. But here's the part. Hold it down. Everything is nice and smooth right inside the comb, right? So my right hand will go in right now and hold the hair. Again, my middle finger and my point finger, it's holding the hair all the way through. Do not leave any hair hanging on the left side of it, portion of it. So make sure all the hair right inside your finger. And then here's the part we should go really slow on. Okay? I'm pulling the comb down now. As you can see, the space between my finger is staying solid in the same area, and I just pull the comb down, and watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go left right now. You see? Here's the part the wave is gonna come. Once I go left, all I'm doing is where my hand is holding, standing on the left side, and my hand standing on the right side, is just gonna be pushing up. Let's push up more. That's it. You see, let's go back once and then push up again.
Oh, yeah.
One back, one forward. You see?
Yep.
And then let's go. Yes, stop right here. Right here. Perfect. 17. Okay. Now is the part I created my wave. There's a video on this also. You guys can see that. I created my first wave. Let's go to step number 18. I let go the right hand where I don't need it no more. All I need is my hand that is on top. What I will be doing is now I can put a clip over it. And because you can put a clip, because there is no hairspray, it's not wet, it's not, you can put a clip when the hair is dry and won't make any kind of a demarcation line. There's no, harsh line there. So, but when you put a clip on a wet and hairspray, you'll see that ugly line that you can kind of cover it easily. So we'll be doing the same exact, the deep vintage wave technique on the same part. You see, each time I'm doing it, I'm putting a clip here and clip there, just to hold the secure the same part. Pulling the hair down and then pushing up.
Right.
It's this part, how the comb is sitting, it's the same part where the clip is sitting on the top clip, as you can see. Not the bottom clip. I mean, not the, you see the right side, there's two large clips. One is on the first one that is looking more down, and the one is looking more up. Yeah, right here. It's pretty much my hand is in the same position as it was before. And then kind of like how do I pin these? Good. Let's go back to 19. There's a hairpin right in the back bottom on top of the hair bun.
Right.
I'm using those kind of pins. And then let's go to 20. On the 20, when I finish with my each section, I kind of like to press my hand and use a little oil on my hand. I like to press it with my hand using a sewing technique. I'm putting in the pins, but I like to hold the pins straight up towards you. Hold the pin. Everyone knows, how the pins are, and bring two ends together, kind of like bend them in. So it will look like how can I show? It will look straight and the ends are looking down on both sides. So when you're doing a sewing technique and then sticking the pin in, it will hug on the head and grab it. Don't allow it to come out easily. I don't like doing the pins, bending it all the way through, making it look like a hook on the hair. So if client or your model decides to change the style, removing the hook, it's kind of hard and will ruin the shape. But in a way, if you do it how I showed you guys, and that video, if you guys having any hard time, trouble of using the pins in, I have a video on my page also, shows how to make the hair pins, bend. So I have the video. You can DM me. I'll more than welcome to tag you in it so you guys can see. So the ends are getting more together. Consider your finger, point finger and middle finger, put it right next to each other. Hold it straight. And then hold the nail part, pull both of them down a little.
And about how many, where do you position these pins, looking at this image with the different S curves here, roughly how many pins would be in this look right here, and where would you be placing them?
Honestly speaking, I would put maybe, between 10 to 15
Okay.
pins. So where would I put it? I would put it, you see, as you look at the picture, you don't see any pins anywhere, pretty much. And even the front portion part, I will gently put it on the edge. You see where the waves are coming in? When the waves are coming in and going out, with it going in, I will put it in there. Where the waves, the edges, I will put it in. But you won't necessarily, would see it. I'll take the whole section and kind of like doing a sewing technique. Once I put my pins, I would put if this helps you, you can do it this way also. You can put a hairspray a lot, strong hairspray, the one that doesn't make, a lot of white sparks or whatever on the hair. You can do that, and then take a tissue paper, the one that when you can fold the tissue paper up and place it on the areas where it's they have the curve in, and then put a clip on it. So it kind of like presses there much more.
I see. To fix it, almost fix it. If you spray it with the spray and then use a tissue like a non-stick tissue.
Yes. Can we just go a couple of pictures back? I just want to show you one more little thing. If we have time, just go back one more. Go just a few more. One more. One more. One more. One more. More. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, right. 13? 13? Okay. Step number 13, let's say you already know where you're going to place your piece, right? Where you're going to place your section. Without changing the steps, I'll just talk about it. Your right hand will come in, you will hold the hair, comb will go down about 2 to 2.5 inch down, and then we'll go make a left. As you can see, you will see in the picture once we go to different steps. But before anything, look where the comb is standing. Look, you see her ear on top of the ear. On her head, that's where the wave is going to sit. What you can also do, you can put a hairspray, strong hairspray there. And let's go to step number 15. 16, 17. Okay, perfect. You see, if you would have put a hairspray there, strong hairspray, and do this technique, and step number 18, when you let go of your hand, you can put a clip on it. So this way, you're not putting a hairspray on top of the wave, you're putting a hairspray under. So when you clip there, let's step to number 19. See the clip? Is sitting there. Hairspray would have hold the hair. You won't allow it to drop. So any hair could be so soft, it won't fall out so easy. So there, I kind of choose strongest hairspray in the salon. I kind of will grab it and spray it. You can even wet it there. That close you can spray. So spray a little bit, and then do your technique. Let it sit on it, but I recommend you do that when you get more used to doing this technique. You have a video.
What would be your firm hold spray, a good strong spray? What would you recommend? Some options?
Well, options, I like, again, Shaper Fierce. I have very good effect from them, and I've been using it for a long, long time. Even their products are great. So,
well, and I think it's critical. We all love different types of products, so experiment. I think the key to everything
definitely
you showed us tonight is to practice and work.
I have a whole bunch of hairsprays and a whole bunch of products. I love to test product, and I love to test different, stuff, and just to try it in my updos. And pretty much I have many different, brands that I've been using in the salon. This doesn't mean that Sebastian is the only product you need to use. But overall, you need some kind of a prepping. You need some kind of a product that's going to build texture in the hair. And you need another product, hairspray, that comes in handy here, these kind of situations. where, because I kind of, even today I bought many different brands of hairsprays,
Hmm.
so that I can try test in the salon and practice it on the mannequin heads. So,
Right.
but to be
Practice.
honestly speaking, the combs makes big difference
Sure.
when you creating a Hollywood waves, and I kind of like this comb specifically so much. When you comb out each section, how the comb will go in and out of the hair. You'll use many different combs. It has to be a little bit wider tooth comb. Many people having trouble with it. So this is the comb for Hollywood waves. There's another comb that I like to use, a little different, but I kind of did this in this image. I like to use a different combs for different purposes.
And what
They,
comb? And of course, we're getting the questions. Which comb is it that you like to use here?
this one is for this comb that you see here, pink comb. It's the for Hollywood waves, and then another comb that I like to use is for vintage styling. So, for instance, things like this, it's so much more easier. And on my classes that I teach, I kind of like to do this technique, putting the comb underneath the hair, as you can see on the step number 19.
Right.
So there's another technique which is different that I teach that in my classes where you putting the comb on top of the hair,
Hmm.
not from under. So it's a whole nother story. But if you get comfortable with this kind of an idea, the understanding, putting the comb underneath, think about it. It's like a one straight road, sticking the comb from under 3 inch from the area and holding it with your hand going down and then left,
Right.
and then holding it with your hand going down, this time more right. So you have a more like a wave to it. This hair could be straight hair. You can still be easily make this kind of a vintage effect without
Yeah.
struggle.
And actually, an analogy that I think of, and it may seem very simplified, but if you take linguine, I mean, in your mind, if you practice using pasta, look at it, just laying it on a table or a plate, and look at how you move and shape it with your hands, and then translate
Definitely.
to that how you do that with the hair. One other quick question: these clips, how do you avoid having a mark from the clips? Is it the type of product that you use? I would think the hairspray possibly might help leave a mark, or do you wait until the hairspray is dry before you place the clip?
I was explaining before, um, before you do the take, before you put the in, I was explaining it before, that you kind of like to, before you do the style, you like to put a hairspray in the area that you're going to place your waves. So this technique that I'm doing, I like to put the hairspray under first. So this way, if if we go back to step number, I believe 13 or 14. Okay, right here. As I mentioned here, it's the same thing. Put where the ear is, on top of the ear, and we can go to step number 16. Let's say if we would have sprayed there, and 17, you see my thumb and my point finger is there. My middle finger, I kind of like bend it in. That area would be having hairspray
Mhm.
on it. If we jump to step number 18, you see now that I let go of my right hand, that I previously put a hairspray there and kind of will tap this on. Instead of putting the hairspray from on top, putting a lot of tons of hairspray, I kind of chose for this method, I kind of chose to put spray the underneath, so this piece of layer can sit on it, on the hairspray. And when I put a clip on it, let's jump to step number 19. You see, when you put a clip on it, it will hold and support the hair down. Clip is pressing it down to stay it like that. It won't make any mark because I didn't put a hairspray on top.
Okay,
I put a hairspray underneath.
right. That makes sense.
So, and then it will overall, once you let it cool, it will hold the hair in shape like that. It will, believe me, once it's really would be nice and beautifully shaped. it will, when you remove the clip, be careful when you're removing the clip. Once you remove the clip, it will still stay, but it's kind of, you'll see that it's movable. So then what you can do, take a strong hairspray, put a strong hairspray on it so it kind of sits much more tighter, and then you can kind of sewing technique using the pins
Okay.
will allow the hair to sit much more, you know?
Beautiful. And then the last section in the front, you do the same way, but bring it up over the side of the head.
Same exact way. I just kind of laid it over because she's got a beautiful, the ends were blonde, and I just wanted to lay it over and to have it look easy, as you can see. I could have placed this. I could have made it blend in perfectly with the previous section. As you can see, don't look at the bun or the section that I did before. Look at the very front piece, how it's coming down and up and down and up. I could have taken this section and just follow up exactly with the previous section. But this is, I chose to do it this way and still giving me the vintage effect to it. At the end, this is to create the more vintage, you know, effect by using this comb technique.
Yep.
So,
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And again,
thank you so much.
we have 8, we're going to try to get through them very quickly, frequently asked questions. But again, as a reminder, you'll be receiving a playback link for the webinar within the next 2 days. You'll also receive 4 video clips that are brief clips, about 15 to 20 seconds, that show you the critical points during both of these techniques, exactly how Mustafa did this. So Mustafa, thank you. Thank you so much. They're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Again, if you have questions about the tools that he works with or want to follow Mustafa's work on social media, you'll find the information here, mustafasworkshop.com, and then at Mustafa's Workshop and at Mustafa Avci. So great. Well, if it's all right with you, let's dive right in here. We're running a little short on time. So I think a lot of
Perfect.
these questions you have covered, but we wanted to make sure and reach out to Margot in Melbourne, Australia. What tips for creating these long-lasting waves for bridal clients with fine hair? That's the key here. For fine hair, any special tips?
I recommend use extensions, a lot of extensions. I tell everyone to bring a lot of extensions, and I just take her hair along with the extensions when I'm just taking it sectioning. So just clip the extensions in, take a large sections, pin them up, do the same exact thing that I showed you, and it should be, work out pretty good.
Okay. Let's see. From Stacy in Medford, I believe it is, New York. How do you change techniques based on hair type? What do you do differently?
What I do differently, I kind of talk to my clients. Sometimes they have short bangs. Sometimes they have like a short pieces of hair in the front. I kind of go along with the type of hair they have. Sometimes they have fine hair. They don't have extensions, and then they come in. They say, I want it like full, and I want it both sides, and I kind of like guide them to do it on one side that they prefer better because I want to over direct the hair. For instance, let's say to the right side, so I have more hair on the right and in the back. So it's kind of eliminates one side, push back behind the ear, so I kind of build the hair more towards the back and the side to create more fullness in the hair.
Okay.
If I would have done it all around, then I would have, fine hair all around.
Right.
It wouldn't be good.
And then Jesus in Houston wants to know how can you get the bang area to have volume without it going flat?
Well, on this question, I don't recommend you using a hairspray so much. They have, a lot of texture spray, like for instance, like a puff me and stuff like that. You can spray more in the root area and then gently tease in. Then, if you have an updo brush, then I recommend you just the fine hair in the front. You can get a lot of volume with that, and then you can leave your comb on the side because fine hair and comb it makes it a lot of separation. But the brush, updo brush, will bring everything together, lay it out much more smooth. So I can recommend playing with that, and you shouldn't have a problem of teasing when you have much more of a beautiful, texture powder spray like that.
Right. And then, of course, with this question, you covered this extensively, but Michelle, thank you so much for joining us from
Thank
Tours.
you,
I
Michelle.
hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm not Tours France. How exciting.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
can you give us a very brief recap of what you use
Uh,
to prep the
what are the different types you take to prep the hair? Like I said, it's the Sebastian Velour spray I use, but if I don't have that, I kind of try to use different volumizing spray. I've used, Kerastase, Orbe, and many different brands, I kind of use. It doesn't mean anything you should, to be attached 100%, but, these more mainly choose volumizing products.
Okay.
Even wash the hair with the volumizing product if the hair is really, really fine, you know?
Okay. And then let's see the next question. We have Kristen from Escondido, California. Uh, Again, you've covered a lot of this, but what type of hot tools, combs, brushes, and product do you use to create these styles? Is this something they could find on your website, like a list or a kit?
Well, I pretty much just have the kit list. It's basically listed as like a normal brush, this and that. But things that I personally purchase, I told you guys, it's from hairandtools.com. They even have an Instagram page also. It's a new company starting. I guess I buy the stuff from there. And the hot tools are, I just use 1 inch. I mainly focus on the clip that is on top, that I choose to find ones that are much more flat rather than like a hugging the iron,
Right.
like a U shape. So try to stay away from the ones that are more bended when you're creating a Hollywood waves.
We also have Patricia from Basingstoke in the UK. The essence of her question is any special tips? What do you have when you're really short on time? What do you recommend to help save time?
Okay, quick answer to this. I have a video on my page. It's a purple color that my friend did. He was doing a photo shoot on it. Then I kind of chose to do. I said, let me style this hair real quickly. I took a section, large sections. Instead of starting from under, I started from on top and going down. So if you have a, let's say, for instance, if you got used to wrapping up the nice way and pinning and teasing, you pretty much know all that. And sometimes you fall in a situation they have very short time, they have nothing, you can kind of take a large section from on top. I did it for my one of my clients the other day. I rolled her hair into 9 sections. So if you think about it, 9 section you're doing curl and coming out with an awesome, beautiful Marilyn Monroe effect.
Right?
So that's what I can recommend you taking a large section and pinning them up, letting it cool. Even once it's cool, 5-10 minutes, it's also fine because you have to understand they're in rush.
Yep. And then Marisol in San Jose, California. What do you do to make sure your style will last all day?
When I finish completely, I kind of choose to use a strong hairspray. When I'm done completely, I don't need to do any other sections no more. Once the hair is beautifully styled, I kind of like to use a generous amount of strong hairspray, but not spraying it so close, spraying a little far away. Make sure the hairspray works out very nicely, and we'll cover up, we'll work out, nice and, smooth, nice and hard, I mean.
Sure. And then
We'll work it
finally,
out.
where do you find your inspirations for all the different signature looks that you create?
I sleep and I wake up with thinking about olden Hollywood stars, and I really mean that when I say that because they really inspire me, and because of the times that I haven't really been there with them and just kind of watch them on the TVs, I kind of like to watch them, take my time. Even today, I was watching like YouTube videos of them, short videos, just trying to get inspired by them, trying to see their beautiful, sexy looks, big and volumed hair. Like Marilyn Monroe is one of my biggest, inspiration. Like Rita Hayworth, it's something that I can't, describe in words. How much I get inspired by these people, how their style. Now that I kind of use the curling iron so much, I can say now the Marilyn Monroe's hair is one side looking down and the other side is pushed back away from the face and waves coming down. Now I know exactly how that person used their right hand to style the hair all around, because you kind of would understand when you get starting to do waves more, you'll understand which side falls out beautiful more towards the front and which side starts away from the face. So you kind of get the hand of it. But I recommend you a big thing when you do waves, if you're righty, stay with right hand and then finish it off with the right hand. If you're lefty, stay with the left hand and finish it off with the left hand. Do not switch hands when using curling iron. So always keep it. I use my curling iron on my right hand, and I start and I finish with my right hand with the curling iron. So always, my biggest recommendation would be that to you guys.
Extra tips. That's fantastic. Well, this has been so informative too. Spectacular, different looks, Hollywood waves, and the vintage updos. Again, you can find and follow Mustafa at the website and the social media sites that we've shared with you here. Let's just, before we come back to Mustafa's final words, just the last few reminders that I have in the announcement. Again, as the holidays are approaching, if you go to shopbehindthechair.com, you find just a huge assortment of gift ideas, again, for your fellow stylists, your salon owners and managers, for clients, for retail, with the Invisibobble. We have a special opportunity right now where for only $128 and change, you receive 33 packs plus the free display. Great opportunity for stocking stuffers and last minute gifts. The Power Styler, if you want to save time, ease the frizz for only $19.95 at shop.behindthechair.com and also at Salon Centric. You'll be able to receive Power Stylers of your choice of colors. Last but not least, our two educational events coming up: Behind the Chair on Tour at the Orpheum Theater in Los Angeles, February 27th. Go to behindthechair.com/on tour. The announcement will be coming in the next few weeks with who will be the lineup for the event and how you can get tickets. And we do hope to see you in Austin in August at the JW Marriott for Color, Cut, and Style, our 6th annual event that will focus on coloring, cutting, and styling techniques that you can take back to the salon and use tomorrow. So more information at behindthechair.com/the show. And you can actually book your hotel now at the JW Marriott by following that link. So Mustafa, wow, what an incredible, great session we had tonight. Again, everyone, you'll be receiving the playback link plus 4 bonus video clips that shows you and teaches you exactly what Mustafa did. What would be your closing thoughts to leave with everyone this evening?
I want to thank everyone who participated, take their time, coming in, and means a lot to me. And as you can see, I just want you guys to understand, anywhere in the world, we all share our same heart, same, understanding from social media, from our phones. So keep in touch, and I highly recommend you to, as I participated in the Behind the Chairs show, I'm going to do it again one more time, and I'll be there also in Houston. So if you guys there, please come and say hello. And you see where it got me, and it can get you into the same and more further places by doing what you really, really love and doing it with the passion. And I have a lot of passion in here, and if I can share this to you, give it out to you, it makes me, happy also. If anything that you have any kind of a situation in, please DM me. I would love to answer your questions, touch base with you guys. And thank you, thank you for being part of it. I really, appreciate this,
Thank
the
you.
opportunity for you guys.
You're a generous and a gracious teacher, so we appreciate so much your time and your creativity, as always, Mustafa, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much, Janet. Thank you.
To everyone out in the audience, thanks so much for your time, and Mustafa, for sharing your creative tips and techniques. If you didn't get your question answers, as we've had quite a few streaming tonight, then reach out to Mustafa directly. And remember, within 2 to 3 days, you'll receive the playback link plus the video link. So, and all right then, on behalf of all of us here at BTC and Mustafa, thank you for sharing your time with us, and Have a beautiful evening, everyone. Good evening, Mustafa.
Good evening, Janet. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.